Perhaps you got a letter saying that you don't qualify for Health First Colorado, Colorado's Medicaid program. Or, if you're already a Health First Colorado member, maybe you got a letter saying that your benefits or services have been reduced or denied. If you disagree with a decision about your health care, you can appeal. Appeal means sending a written request to the Office of Administrative Courts saying that you disagree with the decision and you want a hearing with an administrative law judge. Asking for an appeal is your chance to tell the administrative law judge why you believe the decision is wrong and share information that supports your position. Appealing can be a long process, but it doesn't have to be a scary one. There are 7 steps in the appeals process. This video explains how the process works. You can pause the video at any time to take notes or print screen details. As you start the appeal process, check if you turned in all your required paperwork. If you get a letter saying you're losing or being denied coverage, read the letter and find out if you've turned in all the required information and paperwork. You may be able to solve the issue quickly by submitting all the necessary documents and information. Next, check if you are appealing an eligibility decision or a benefits or services decision. To learn how to appeal an eligibility decision, that is, a decision about whether you qualify for Health First Colorado, skip to Step 1 in the video. For benefits and services appeals, you may need to appeal with your health plan first. To learn how to appeal a decision about your benefits or services, keep watching. Appealing a benefits or services decision. Health First Colorado works with different organizations and companies to manage your benefits. The way you ask for an appeal about a benefits or service decision depends on, number 1, the type of benefit. For example, dental, prescription drug, private duty nursing services, mental health, and number 2, the healthcare organization that manages those benefits. If you are in Elevate Medicaid Choice, formerly known as Denver Health or Rocky Mountain Health Plan Prime, you may need to request an appeal with them first. Information on how to do this will be in your notice letter. Also, pay attention to the deadlines in your letter. If you miss a deadline, you may lose or have a gap in your coverage. If you have questions about the deadlines, call the Member Contact Center at 800-221-3943, State Relay 711. And now, we'll walk through the 7 steps of the appeals process. Step 1. Send a request for a formal hearing or an expedited, faster hearing to the Office of Administrative Courts. If you disagree with a decision about your eligibility, or if you already filed a benefit appeal with the healthcare organization that manages your benefits and disagree with their decision, you can ask for a formal hearing with the Office of Administrative Courts. A formal hearing is known as an appeal or a state fair hearing. To ask for a formal hearing, you'll need to email, mail, fax, or drop off your request to appeal to the Office of Administrative Courts within 60 days from the date of your letter. Also, it's good to know that for eligibility appeals, you can ask for both an informal meeting, discussion with your eligibility site, and a formal hearing with the Office of Administrative Courts at the same time. Details about formal hearings and informal meetings can be found at healthfirstcolorado.com/appeals. If waiting for an appeal will endanger your health, you can ask the Office of Administrative Courts for an expedited or faster appeal. Write Expedited Appeal on your request and write why you're asking for a faster appeal. Again, pay attention to the date. If you try to appeal after 60 days, the Office of Administrative Courts may not accept your appeal. Now, you may be wondering what happens to your health coverage and benefits during the appeals process. This is important. Asking for a formal hearing with the Office of Administrative Courts is the only way to continue your benefits. Step 2. The Office of Administrative Courts sets a hearing date. After the Office of Administrative Courts gets your appeal request, they will mail you a letter with the time and date of your formal hearing. This is called a notice of hearing. The formal hearing will take place on video conference or by phone, or you can ask for an in-person meeting instead. For expedited or faster hearing requests, Step 2 looks a little different. If you ask for an expedited hearing, the Office of Administrative Courts will send your request to the Office of Appeals at the Colorado Department of Healthcare Policy and Financing, which administers Health First Colorado, Colorado's Medicaid program. The Office of Appeals will decide in 1 business day if they accept or deny your expedited appeal request. If they say yes to an expedited appeal request, they will call you to schedule a hearing. The hearing will be over the phone or video conference and will take place within a few days. If they say no to your request for an expedited appeal, you will still get a formal hearing through the Office of Administrative Courts. The Office of Administrative Courts will mail you a letter with the time and date of your formal hearing. Step 3. Prepare for the hearing. Gather any supporting information about your case and send it to the organization who issued the notice of denial, appealee, and the Office of Administrative Courts no later than 10 days before the hearing. These papers should show the judge why you disagree with the decision. For example, if you disagree about your income, pay stubs might be helpful. If you disagree about the lack of medical necessity, a letter from your doctor might be helpful. Be sure to make and bring copies of the required paperwork and supporting information to the hearing. Another important thing to know is that you don't need a lawyer for a formal hearing. You can represent yourself or ask someone to represent you. That person can be a provider, an advocate, a lawyer, a family member, or any other person you trust. If you want someone to represent you, fill out the non-attorney authorization form. Both you and your representative must sign the form. After you both sign the form, return it to the Office of Administrative Courts. A link to this form is in the video description. For members under the age of 18, their parent or guardian can represent them without a non-attorney authorization form. You also have the right to ask the Office of Administrative Courts for accommodations or a language interpreter for regular hearings. The Office of Appeals can provide accommodations for expedited hearings. Step 4. Attend the hearing. This is where you get to share your story and explain why you believe you qualify for Medicaid or why you should receive the services your provider requested. It's your chance to present your case to a judge who will listen carefully to your arguments, review all the evidence, and make a decision. Also, your hearing will be recorded. This is so that everyone knows what happened in your hearing. To ask for the transcript, a written copy of what was said during the hearing, follow the instructions in your Notice of Initial Decision letter. Step 5. Get the judge's initial decision. In most cases, the judge will make a written decision in 20 days. The Office of Appeals will send you a copy of the judge's decision, called a Notice of Initial Decision. Please note this is not a final decision. If you agree with the initial decision, you do not need to take any action. Wait for the Office of Appeals to issue the final agency decision. If you disagree with the judge's initial decision, you still have options. Keep watching the video to learn more. Step 6. What to do if you disagree with the judge's initial decision. If you disagree with the judge's initial decision, you can file a written exception to the Office of Appeals within 18 days of getting the Notice of Initial Decision. Exceptions are your written arguments stating why you believe the initial decision is incorrect. This is the last step in the appeals process before the Office of Appeals issues a final agency decision. A few key facts about written exceptions. The Office of Appeals must receive your written exception by the due date on the letter. You do not need a lawyer to request an extension or file a written exception. If you need more time to review the judge's initial decision or to order a transcript, you can ask the Office of Appeals for an extension. The Office of Appeals must receive your request for an extension by the due date on the letter. Step 7. Get the final agency decision. After you send your written exception to the Office of Appeals, the other side, appealee, will have a chance to review and respond to your written exception. The Office of Appeals will then review your written exception and any response from the other side and issue a final agency decision. If you agree with the final agency decision, you do not need to take any action. Your benefits and services will be restored if they were reduced or denied. If you disagree with the final agency decision, you may file a motion for reconsideration with the Office of Appeals, or you may file a judicial review in State District Court. Follow the instructions in your final agency decision letter. If the final agency decision is not in your favor and you no longer qualify for Health First Colorado, you can reapply for coverage at colorado.gov/peak or find health insurance at connectforhealthco.com, Colorado's official health insurance marketplace. Connect for Health Colorado lets you apply for financial help to lower the cost of health insurance. Links to Colorado Peak and Connect for Health Colorado can be found in the video description and on healthfirstcolorado.com. And that's how the process for formal appeals works. Here's what we reviewed in this video. As you start the appeal process, check if all required paperwork was turned in. For benefits or services appeals, you may need to request an appeal with your healthcare organization first. Your notice letter will tell you how. Note the deadlines in your letter. If you miss a deadline, you may lose or have a gap in coverage. Step 1 of the appeals process is to send a request for a formal hearing or an expedited, faster hearing to the Office of Administrative Courts. Step 2 is when the Office of Administrative Courts sets a hearing date. Steps 3 and 4 are preparing for and attending the hearing. Step 5 is getting the judge's initial decision. Step 6 describes what to do if you disagree with a judge's initial decision. And Step 7 is getting the final agency decision. As a Health First Colorado member, you have the right to appeal any decision about your health coverage that you disagree with. For details about the process, including who to call for help, visit healthfirstcolorado.com/appeals.